you know what time it is? It's the King Ducky Show. Crackle out of the can like you don't give a fuck. Come on. I can't hear you quacking, y'all. Come on, quack. 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 Quack.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the King Ducky Show. Now, I know it's been pretty much a fat minute since the last time I talked on this podcast. A lot of life has been going on and a lot of stuff that I have to work out and work with and a bunch of bullshit in my personal life. And I'm sorry, but I believe the last time that I recorded an episode for the podcast was around the time of the Smokehouse Creek, some sort of shit fires were going on, tearing through the town that I live in and the town that I live next to, and pretty much all of the panhandle of Texas. That happened. Shit, I can't think of any other major events that happened since then. But yeah, no, that happened. Nothing happened in my town. It was the town next to us, but they did evacuate my town and moved us all to everywhere else. We were all evacuated and they were like, yeah, no, you guys got to go or else your stuff is, you're going to burn. And we were all like, okay. Next thing you know, we're sitting here watching my stream because I accidentally left Twitch stream going after we evacuated and nothing happened. It never even got anywhere near my apartment. I mean, push comes to shove. Oh, well, I mean, rather be safe than sorry. As we were evacuating, I had fun with a cop because on the way out of town, the cop was like, well, we shut off this road, but you can go if you want. Like the fire's hopping across the road and stuff. And I was like, can I go? The officer is like, yeah, you can go if you want. And my fiance, she was like, no, don't you fucking dare. And so I was like, fuck it, I won't go. I almost did, though. I was really debating it. It sounded like a good idea. It felt like a good idea. I was just about to be like, fuck it. Why not? Very recently, though, a lot of stuff that's going on. How are you guys feeling about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef? How's everyone sitting with that? I personally think Kendrick Lamar has kind of won it at this point. And Drake's just pushing the inevitable. I mean, I don't really see any point in going on, but if they want to, that's up to them. My mom is going to be on the news because she is a living donor. She donated one of her kidneys and she's also in like the transplant games. I don't really understand it too well. No, she's going to be on the news. Ooh, I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm trying to quit a bad habit. And I know that a lot of people who are probably listening to this podcast, military, anybody really over the age of 21, if you guys have tried to quit a bad habit, I know how hard it can be, but it doesn't have to be. Quitting your bad habits can be easy as a 30-day program that you could follow. It could be easy as replacing that bad habit with something else. And honestly, I tried that way. I have replaced my bad habit with a good habit. And that good habit is Fume. Fume is not a vape. It's not a cigarette. It's not anything. There's no smoke, no nicotine, no tobacco. It is a plant-based natural air diffuser. And it has so many flavors. So far, the ones that I have tried are the black pepper and the orange vanilla ones. Those two are my favorite, the maple pepper and orange vanilla. Orange vanilla is my absolute favorite. It is delicious. It kind of feels like I'm drinking orange juice every time I'm trying to quit smoking. So far, it's been pretty good. I've been 14 days without my bad habit, and this good habit, I mean, it's amazing. It also has a base that you can get with it that it sticks to and you can spin it around. Sometimes I find myself sitting at my desk for hours just spinning that thing just over and over and over again. Sometimes it falls off, but that's just because I spun it a little too hard. But no, you guys can get yours. You can try yours 30 days risk-free. If you do not like it within 30 days, you get your money back. But you can try it for 10% off for 30 days using my code KING, KING, 79399. It's tryfume.com, tryfum.com/king79399. Isn't that cool? I got a sponsor. Woo! Sponsor for the podcast. Let's go. They're really a sponsor for my Twitch and my YouTube, but I mean, for the most part, it's pretty much the same fucking thing. As long as I can get the media to look at their product. This is how I'm going to work with sponsors from now on. for any sponsors that listen to this episode or just listen to me in general, I will not support a product I don't believe in. So if you want me to put your product out there to the people that listen to me or watch me or enjoy my content in some sort of fashion, you have to be able to send me a part of that or a piece of that product and show me how useful or how helpful your product is. Because if I can't stand behind the product or if I can't even like practice the function of the product myself, then I'm not going to do it. I'm literally using this sponsorship to help myself quit my bad habit. I'm using it to help quit smoking. They sent me the thing, the natural air diffuser, and I went and bought a bunch of the flavors so I could try them out. And it has helped a lot. Now, the nicotine withdrawal has been rough, but other than that, it's been okay. And I know some of you people out there who don't smoke are probably going to listen to this and be like, well, why don't you just quit? It's that easy. Just not do it. No, it's fucking difficult. But enough about me. How are you guys? It's been a fucking minute. I miss you guys. I saw someone with a review who said that a lot of the army guys who I talked about in my Poland story heard my podcast, heard my episode, and that is awesome. Some old friends of mine, hopefully they're old friends of mine. If not, then sorry. Talked about you on my podcast. It's okay though. But that's awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys are still listening to my podcast or somehow found me somehow. But hi. Haven't heard from you guys in a while. You guys can find me on Facebook if you know who I really am. Other than that, how's everybody else doing? Have you guys been smiling? Have you guys been checking up on yourselves, checking up on your friends, family, loved ones? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that could use some help. I mean, everybody could use help, someone to talk to, someone to just sit down with, just breathe for a second, you know? I know in a previous episode, we talked about learning how to breathe and how to take a second away from all these things. I got a new job. That's a lot of fun. It's kind of my dream job. Can't really talk about it on the podcast, but it's kind of my dream job. It's what I'm good at and pretty much what I was destined to do after I think about everything that I've done in my life. It's perfect. I don't know how to feel about it. I hope it works out. If not, oh well, it's okay. You live and you learn, you try things, and if they don't work out, you don't sit there and cry about it. You just make it work. And since we're on the topic of bad habits and checking in on your friends, family, and loved ones, I'm going to talk about a time that the only time that I've ever been to a family reunion. So this family reunion, it's not for my family per se. It was for my stepmom's family. So me, my brother, and my sister, we have no idea who's all in this family. Right? We know nobody. We have no reason to be there other than the fact that my stepmom was married to my dad. Okay, let me just put that out there. We don't know who's family. We don't know who's not family. So we all kind of got fucked in the end. Foreshadowing. So I think I was, I don't know how old I was. I was still a kid though. This was before I graduated high school. I think I was still in middle school at the time. I had to have been. But we go out to the family reunion. It's in Colorado. We're visiting my stepmom's side of the family. I see the faces that are familiar, the ones that I see at Christmas and stuff, is my aunt and my cousins that I know from family dinners and stuff like that, where we do meet all the people that we know and hang out with all the time. Then there's a bunch of other people. Now, my brother at the time, I think he's like 18, 19, 20, 21, something. I don't fucking know. But he's much older than me and definitely not the right kind of influence a child should have. But he was honestly my best friend. He was funny as shit. He made me laugh, all sorts of stuff. But me, my older cousin, I'll name him, what are we going to name him? John. We're going to name him John. So me, my brother, Big B, that's what we're going to call him, Big B. Me, my brother, Big B, and my cousin, John. We're just hanging around. We're trying to figure out who the fuck everybody is. And we cannot, for the life of us, figure out who's family and who's not. Well, we come across two twins. We'll call them Sarah 1 and Sarah 2. So we run into Sarah 1 and Sarah 2. And my brother and my cousin start hitting on them like aggressively. Like as soon as they see them, they are balls to the wall. Hey, Sarah, do you know how beautiful you are? Sarah, you are absolutely gorgeous. Sarah too. Oh my goodness, your hair is, and then they're both like, who are y'all here with? And they're all just like, and I'm like, we're here with my stepmom side of the family. And they're like, oh, your stepmom is my aunt. And they're all like, oh, no. Well, so we continue on. We have teenage kid conversations, weird conversations. It was just all fucky-wucky. Big B and John are still with me Sarah 1 and Sarah 2, and we're all just kind of staying away from the family reunion because we don't know anyone there, and these are the first people we meet, so we're just kind of grouped up. Well, Sarah 1 and Sarah 2's sister shows up. We'll call her Kitty. Kitty did not claim herself to be Sarah 1 and Sarah 2's sister, and Sarah 1 and Sarah 2 never claimed to be their sister either. So Kitty and my brother, them being around the same age, hit it off, right? They're smoking weed. They're doing a bunch of stupid shit because this is in Colorado. They're doing a bunch of stupid shit that you see in the movies with two teenagers who just found love for the first time or being horny with another person. And then they fuck off for hours. And so does John. So now it's just me, Sarah 1, and Sarah 2, right? Well, me, Sarah 1, Sarah 2, we hang out for a little while, and Sarah 2 fucks off, and that's just me and Sarah 1. And we hang out, we talk, we exchange phone numbers, and we're like, hey, we should keep in touch. You're really cool and stuff like that. I was like, thank you. And I was like, I'm sorry about what Big B said. He's just stupid and horny all the time for some reason, and I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's okay. We didn't know who anybody was, so any chance to flirt would be a good chance to tell a good story later on down the line. Well, Sarah 1 and Sarah 2, and pretty much most of the family fuck off to their hotels. But Kitty, Big B, and John are all staying in the campsite with me, my stepmom, my dad, and my sisters. It's great. Now, yes, we were all in separate tents and stuff. So me and Big B, we sneak out of our tent, our family tent, to go hang out with John and Kitty. And we're sitting in a tent. I'm like 14 at the time. That's what I'm guessing because I'm still in middle school. 13, I was like 12 to 14 age range. But we go in a tent with Kitty and John, and we're sitting there and we start playing fucking Truth or Dare on Big B's recommendation, right? And Big B and John are actual teenagers. I think John was 16, 17 at the time, and Big B, like I said before, he's somewhere in the 19 to 22 range. And they start being like, well, Kitty, take your top off. And then fucking is like, John, take your pants off. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because before this, I was just listening to music on my iPod and playing fucking mobile games and just vibing, doing 12-year-old shit, right? Now, fucking my brother talks Kitty into flashing everybody in the tent, but he makes me cover my eyes. And I'm like, okay, cool. Probably didn't need to see it anyway. Then my brother says some off-color shit. And John is like, yeah, no, I got to go back to my tent. And then Big B and John, they fuck off to the tent, and it's just me and Kitty. All right. Well, me and Kitty, we sit down and have a talk. And I did the same thing I did with Sarah 1. And I said, hey, Kitty, I'm sorry about my brother. I don't know what went on. I don't know what just happened with you guys. I don't know where you guys went, but I'm sorry for the way he treated you just now. And Kitty's like, yeah, it's okay. I know what everyone thinks we did. And now everyone just thinks I'm a hoe, that I'm just out here fucking anybody I can. And I was like, no, nobody thinks that. No one thinks that you guys did anything. She's like, well, thank you, Austin. I mean, thank you so much. And so I hang out with Kitty for a little bit, and I just chit chat to her, make her feel better, make her hopefully forget about the things that my brother said and all that sorts of shit. And then me and Kitty, we go back into her RV. I go with her because she's obviously not seeming too well. And then I step back outside because I left my iPod in the tent. So I go and grab it. And then when I come back inside, Kitty's in there trying to cut herself. So I grab her wrists and I slam her against the wall, make her drop the knife, and I hold her there until I say, hey, what the fuck is going on? She's like, I can't take being a hoe. I'm not a hoe. I didn't do anything with your brother. And I was like, okay, I get that, but there's no need to do any of this. And she's like, you don't understand. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I took all the knives out of the RV and I put them under my sleeping bag so she could not find them, right? And then a while goes on and she starts looking for them again. And I'm like, hey, no, let's just sit here and talk about what's bothering you, right? She's like, okay. So we sit there and talk and we talk and we talk. And then eventually, before we knew it, the sun's coming up. And I'm like, hey, it happens. People get upset. Things get said or something happens and people don't know how to react to it. And that's how people get hurt or they hurt themselves. I was like, hey, you don't want to do anything with these knives because all these knives are going to fix is nothing. It's just going to make things worse and make them worse for you or they're going to make them worse for someone else. She was like, you're right. Well, we go home after the family reunion. Me and Big B and John, we did not hear from Kitty at all anymore. We hung out with Sarah 1 and Sarah 2 for the next couple of days. And then we go home. Next thing I know, Kitty's messaging me, trying to get a hold of my brother. Because apparently they did fuck. And we found out that Kitty was Sarah 1 and Sarah 2's sister. So a relative, and she felt disgusting about it, and she wanted my brother to know so that they could find out what to do. Well, my brother then ghosted her, and then eventually he finally talked to her about it, and then they came to terms with that whatever happened, and they weren't going to talk about it anymore. And I haven't heard from her since. I haven't heard from Sarah 1, Sarah 2, John, any of them. I haven't heard from none of them since. I'm not saying it'd be a good thing to talk to them, but it happens. So, welcome to my crazy-ass story about how my brother fucked my cousin, and we didn't even know. Should someone have told us? Probably. But my brother also probably shouldn't have been as horny as that to just immediately try and fuck the first woman he saw that was in his age range, you know? Like, that's where I'm at on that. Well, anyway, I think that's a weird, good story. It's just to talk to the people you care about. Check in on the people you love. Check in on your friends and family. You don't even have to check on the ones that seem like they're upset. Check on all of them. Just send them a text being like, hey, how you doing? You doing okay? We're doing fine. We're doing great. Good. And Jacob, I'm really proud of what you've done this year. So far, you have come out and you have kicked some ass. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.